So where are all the men? I feel like I have no options. So you've been dating for a while, but you're struggling to feel safe enough with someone who maybe their doubts and fears are mirroring back to you, creating your own doubts and fears, and you just feel like there's no one worthy of your commitment. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is okay. That is okay. Because we as feminine women were always meant to be careful. We were always meant to be highly discerning of the men that we choose to allow into our life. The person that we become bound to for the rest of our life. The person that we choose to have kids with, grow a family with. And as a rare gem of a feminine woman today in this culture, you will see that your level of discernment shoots through the roof, because you just have so much energy built up and you're preserving all of that for the right person. And so there's no harm or foul against the options that you have currently in your circle. It's nothing against these specific men. Maybe they're great guys, great catches, but you just don't feel like it's the perfect fit for you. And that's okay. And the only true person putting pressure on yourself is you, okay? Because why? Because the people that you run into from time to time in your community are asking you, oh, do you have a man yet? Are you dating someone? And you don't have an answer to give to them. So what? So what? That is not your identity. Their identity might be in who they're with and if they become someone's girlfriend, but that's not your identity, right? You choose to have your identity in God. You don't have your identity attached to being someone's partner. So what if you can't fit in because all your friends have boyfriends and they're going to the movies and they're having date nights and they're getting Valentine gifts? So what? So what? That's what I have to say. It might look picture perfect from the outside, but you don't know what they're dealing with in their relationship. You don't know that they're not willing to sit with themselves and be alone and just have to be attached to someone. And I am pro relationship, okay? Obviously. But do you know how many relationships I've seen crumble throughout my years, because two people went in not knowing what the hell they were doing? And that's their story to go through, okay? But what's the harm in you deciding to be patient and wait for the right person when the time comes and you know it's the right time, rather than jumping into something just so you can say that you have someone, okay? You need to learn to be patient. You're gonna have to learn patience. And in this journey to your femininity, you will have to grow immensely in patience, because you can't develop emotional intelligence unless you have patience. And I'm talking to those of you single ladies who are struggling to feel that joy in your single season. I don't need to have this talk with myself anymore. I've been there and had the conversations. I'm good where I'm at. But for those of you who are really struggling because, you don't have someone to call every night, the grass is not always greener on the other side. Wouldn't you rather be patient and learn the skills that you need to know right now while you're single and learning to become a wife? Because we're not taught this stuff in school. Wouldn't you rather accumulate those skills and then use them in the future so that you can be the best wife that you can be to your future husband, rather than going with the flow of things and just not knowing what you're doing when you're actually in the situation? No, because you can learn the skills that it requires to be a wife now before you actually get to that point, okay? Because homemaking, learning to cook and clean, these things are not taught to us in school, okay? We're taught how to make money for big businesses. We're not taught how to build our own businesses. We're taught the square root of a triangle, but we're not taught how to communicate and understand the male brain. We're not taught how to raise children. So there's no harm in becoming who you are supposed to be, and looking up to those who can help you and lead you and teach you in those areas. Thankfully, I had the foundation of growing up with a mom at home, a grandma who was also very traditional and at home, and, had all the cooking and cleaning skills. And, I was able to see that in my early childhood. But for those of you who come from broken families, you have a lot of relearning and deprogramming and demasculinizing yourself to do. And that takes time. And I still don't know all there is to know about cleaning and things that I'm supposed to be or should be cleaning in the home. It's still a learning process. When my grandma comes over, and she just always will, say something new that I didn't know before, of like, oh, you should be cleaning this, you should be cleaning this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? You just don't think about these things because you get into school the minute that you start walking, and then, everything from there is like work, hustle, make money, square root of triangle. So yeah, with the way of the world now, it's common and average for men and women to get married later on in life. But we can't do anything about the outside world and how it's operating. The only thing that we can do is focus on ourselves and change our own inner world. So, depending on your desired lifestyle of whether you choose to have kids or not, you have the freedom now to be more picky of who you choose to have as a life partner, or to settle with who's in front of you. But you are on no timeline, okay? Despite the narrative that you give to yourself, or even if your friends and family, try to push you into this certain lifestyle that they want you to have, you're not on their timeline, okay? And if I'm being honest, this is something that I really never struggled with, and I really tried so hard to understand in all the female friendships that I had around me, of why they were being so aggressive in their timeline to hurry up, settle down, and get married. I never gave myself those restrictions and, very pushy, aggressive timelines. So I never really struggled to, say that I need to have A, B, and C by this certain age. But I do understand that that's a real issue that women are struggling with today. And sure, could there be other factors as to why you maybe aren't attracting him? Yes, but those specific situations need to be studied more individually and catered to your life, which of course I could help you with, but just know that if you're one of those who just refuses to become a girlfriend, then yeah, there's going to be a very small pool for you to choose from, okay? That's just how it goes, because most people here in the West are programmed to boyfriend, girlfriend. We date for 2 years, then we decide if we should get married or not. We play house, we sleep together, we cook for each other, and then we decide, do I want to marry this person or not? That's how it goes here today. And that is not the way that God intended it to be. And that's not to say that you can't work if you choose to be traditional and choose to learn how to cook and clean for your husband and for your children and for just the livelihood of your home. You can be modern and traditional, and there's never any harm in learning the basic skills of taking care of a home and cooking and cleaning. Because it doesn't matter if you have millions of dollars to hire out people who do these things for you. You will learn that once you become truly feminine, you will love to do that kind of stuff for your family. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't ever acquire these skills and knowledge for yourself? And does it sometimes feel like an added chore? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you are working 5 or 6 days a week, working full time, and spiking your cortisol levels every day. Yeah, of course it'll feel like an added chore to come home and do the homemaking stuff. But, again, that depends on lifestyle and finances and stuff, because if you are the average American working and staying home most of the time and then just traveling once or twice a year, then yeah, you can learn to love doing that. But if you are someone who lives above average and you travel all the time and you make a lot of money, then yeah, it would make more sense to just hire out somebody to do those things, okay? I can tell you personally that it means so much more when I cook a meal and my family eats it and then they compliment how much they love my cooking versus going out to eat somewhere with them, which is fun sometimes to do, right? But it's just so much more heartwarming and meaningful to create something for people that you love and then have them love it right back with all the love that you put into it. You're just receiving that right back to you. And you're hearing this from me, from someone who actually does not want the average life. I would rather travel all the time, travel often, build and sustain my own business. Heck, even one day I'd love to grow my own food. So I really don't want much of anything to do with the average lifestyle. But those traditional roots will always be there. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now, but this one was directed and made for those of you who are maybe struggling in your single season and really having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that you're alone and that you're not particularly fitting in with your friends who have relationships, because all my content on here is about making relationships work and communicating with men and communicating with women and biological differences and stuff like that. And I love teaching that more than anything else, more than my fashion stuff, more than my modeling and photographing stuff. I love talking about that and really living in that purpose of helping people with that information. But for those of you who needed to hear this kind of message, because you just want to feel like your singleness has a purpose just as much as your relationships do, then this is for you. So if you are in an area of life where you're dating, make sure you check out my feminine dating course, which I will have linked down below. It has over 7 hours of content and lessons for you to navigate through the dating world, and hopefully just guidance to help you to feel more comfortable in that area, because it can be very intimidating to get into dating when you're not taught this and you don't even know where to start. I was once there. I was once very uncomfortable with it. Used to make me very anxious, and now it's like just second nature to me. So if you want to get more comfortable in that, then I highly suggest you check out the feminine dating course. And yeah, as always, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, a like, leave your thoughts. You're more than welcome to send me an email if you do want to look into one-on-one coaching. I do offer that, so that way I can kind of hone in on your specific situation and see where I can help you, help guide you in your singleness or even in your relationships. Okay, so as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Love you.